Welcome back to Keeping It Frank, and it's your boy, Keston Frank, and I'm here with a special guest, a special lady, sweet lady, would you be mine? Okay, got a special lady right here, Diana, aka Lady D.
Yes, thank you, Keston.
How you doing,
I
man?
am good. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, I'm
I
happy
really
you
appreciate
here,
this.
man.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing collaborations, and this is one of actually my second collaboration so far.
Oh man, I feel special.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Okay, that should feel special. All right, so you know how it is. We got our regular tradition, and today she bought something. What did you bring, Miss?
Well, I bought some wine.
Mm-hmm.
It's red wine. It's called. What is it? Lost Poet.
So you know it's bad when she don't know the name of the wine.
So I subscribe to this thing called Wink, and it allows you to order wine. Like you get like 4 bottles a month or something like that. It's like a subscription. I think it's like $40, but they pick out the wine for you, and you have to like put in your profile of like what kind of flavors you like, and you just kind of roll a die and let them choose. So this is one of the ones they chose. The first one that I had, I didn't like it. It was kind of nasty. So I'm hoping this one is better.
Let's test it out.
It's red. I don't normally do red. I think you should go first.
No, we're gonna do this together.
I hope it's sweet. That's what I was going for. Are you supposed to like swish it around or something? Okay, it smells good.
Alright, we're gonna switch it around.
It might be good. We gotta cheers first to me being on your show.
Yes, sir. What you take?
It's a little dry.
You don't like dry.
I don't particularly like dry, but I mean, I pay for it. So.
How they do it? They be like this. They be like.
But I feel like when it's dry, that don't work too good.
Okay. Got a nice body.
What is a body? What does that mean?
I don't know. I saw it on TV. I'm just, you're not supposed to be calling me out on this.
I'm
like,
sorry.
yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was about to.
But you don't even know what that means. But you know what?
Do you know what that means?
I don't.
No?
I didn't use the word. You did. Calling me out. Are men really trash, or are we just looking through the wrong lens? Ladies, we have to pay more attention to the men that we're dating, their surroundings, the culture that they come from. These things are very important. You cannot fully fault a man who was raised in a certain way of how to treat women. He needs to take some responsibility for his actions, absolutely. A lot of the things that we learn, however, do come from childhood, from our environment. And if we've never been taught how to do the opposite of that, we're gonna continue to do that because that's all we know.
All right, so let's get this thing going, okay?
All right, let's go.
So who is Diana? Who is Lady D?
Lady D, well, I have 2 masters. Well, I'm working on my second master's degree right now. My second master's is going to be in social work. My first one is in psychology. So I have a lot of experience working just with people, which is why I'm going the route of doing the whole social work degree. Especially right now, social work is a huge thing right now with a lot of people being at home, needing a lot of therapy, just somebody to talk to help them get through this tough time. So and this is just who I am. This is just who I've always been. I love working with people, helping people through, traumatic situations. Sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. And I've just always been in that type of world. For the last 6-7 years, I did jobs as a child protective specialist for the city of New York. I've been a case planner in foster care. What else have I done? A lot of it is just case management. Right now, I'm a case manager, so
okay.
So I help connect people to services and things like that. Mainly children who have either behavioral issues or just some type of mental health issue, and they're struggling in the home and their community. I help with a lot of things like that. So I've also removed children in the past before, and being in the child protective world. So I have a lot.
Is that ACS?
Yeah,
Okay.
ACS. Yeah, I have a lot of experience with that, and yeah, this is just like how I've always been. So with Lady D's chat now, transitioning to that, I wanted to create a platform for women to come together and talk about our past traumas, our relationships, our failed relationships, and how to have healthier relationships and make better choices with the opposite sex and just with ourselves, just having better life choices overall, and just being more confident in ourselves to make better choices for ourselves and not feeling like you have to live by somebody else's standards as opposed to just living by your own.
Okay, so when did Lady D's chat get started? Like,
I started, the first video was January 26, 2019. That was the first video I did, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
What made it so bad?
And the editing was bad. The lighting was bad. I said a lot. The transitions were terrible. The positioning of the camera. Like, I could count on so many things that were so bad about it, but it was raw. Yeah. And it was me telling my story. And the first story that I ever told was my experience with domestic violence at the age of 14. That was the first time that I personally experienced domestic violence. I grew up around domestic violence and saw it in my household and my community. But my boyfriend at the time, I was 14 and he was 16, and he put his hands on me. And I ended that relationship super fast. Like, we were kids, first of all.
I can imagine,
you know? But once that happened, I said that will never ever happen to me again, and it never has. I will never allow anybody to disrespect me in that way. So that was my first video, was just me talking about my experience with that. And I actually might do it again. This time I'm,
better audio.
I can speak better. I'm not saying all the time. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. So I probably would do that video again, because I think it's just a story that needs to be told. I think women especially need to hear that, especially if they're in a domestic violence relationship, because those relationships are very volatile. That's a whole, different ballgame of its own. But I think that it's just a story that needs to be told and needs to keep going. And, we need to talk about these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the demographic is mainly the women?
Yes, mainly women. I would like to get men in on these conversations, because a lot of these feelings that we have and a lot of these situations that happen because of relationships that we have with men. And I'm not trying to say that men are terrible people.
I'm about to say, man, they always try to put us under the dirt, man.
No, I'm not saying that. But, when you listen to these love songs and all this pain and hurt that comes out of this music and stuff, that comes from these relationships that a lot of us women have had with men, and we're just trying to express that. So it's not like to say that men are horrible or anything.
I'm about to say, because, these women out here hurting me too.
Well, I mean, men, y'all have songs like that too, no?
Yeah, right? I'm about to say,
yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So you're so funny.
I'm just saying.
But there's still conversations that need to be had, because if we're coming from the same places.
So how are you looking to get men involved? Because when it comes down to things like that, men don't really talk about.
That's true.
Feelings and emotions and stuff like that to that. So,
well, that's why I'm here on this show. I want to try to cross collaborate with men more often, so that way more men can be comfortable with what I have to say. I did a video recently, and it's titled "Are Men Trash?" with a question mark. And no man really said anything to me, but they had a lot to say to the other women that posted it and how they didn't agree with it without even watching it. They just saw the title and it kind of turned them off. And it's funny because I didn't want to put that as a title, but actually a male friend of mine told me to put as my title. I'm like,
because he knows it's going to work.
Yeah, but I'm like, well, I don't know, because it seems like it's backfired on me a little bit. So, but
I mean, it's still good though. Like, sometimes at least people are paying attention. They are. For whatever reasons, they're paying attention, and I'm happy about it. But I would like to have these conversations because, again, if men are looking for women,
and women are looking for men to, you know, date, to be with, to marry, whatever, we have to have these conversations.
That's true.
You know, like it can't be a, you know, oh, I don't want to watch that video because she don't know what she talk. Like you need to watch these things. This is a woman talking about men.
So let's get an understanding of the type of topics that's on your show. What kind of top? Just run a list of like 5 of your top topics.
One video that did really well was loving the Black community, growing up in a toxic environment. So that one was a good one. I talked about morning sex before. That one. Get out of here.
Listen, you can't beat morning sex, baby. You know. Woo! Yeah, man. What kind of wine is this again?
Anyway. That one was a good one. Single until what was it? Oh, living together before you're married. That one was a very good topic that people loved. And that was very controversial because there's a lot of people who believe that you should live together before marriage.
I mean, how is you going to have morning sex?
You don't have to live with. You did not just say that.
I mean, you know, just everyday morning sex. That's good.
First of all, who's doing that every day? Let's start there. Second of all, you don't have to be married to somebody or living with somebody to have morning sex.
I know that.
Okay.
But you know.
Anyway, so that one was a good one. That one was a good one. I did one talking about my weight loss journey and how my relationships affected my weight loss. And it took a toll on my weight loss because I struggled for a very long time. My weight went up and down, up and down.
I saw that one. Yeah.
So that one did really good. And I'm trying to think of the last one that did really well. The one I did about millennial dating, that one was good too. And the struggles of millennial dating, and there were a lot of women who were had a lot to say about it because they feel like millennial dating is trash. And they're having a very hard time, and I'm actually in that pool too, so I get it. But I don't want to continue those type of narratives because I feel like if we do, we'll never find the love that we're looking for, the love that we want, if we continue with the negative narratives. Even though it's there. I'm not saying that it's not there. There are people who will dog you out. You just have to be, you know, on your P's and Q's and pay attention to certain signs.
So let's go into that a little bit.
Okay.
You know, why do you think it's at the state it's at right now?
With relationships?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with us trying to rush things. You know, we're a society where we have microwaves and, you know, we just want things to happen yesterday.
Instantly.
Yeah. And I think that is a distorted view of how reality, like what life really is. Life does not, yes and no, it can go by really quickly. Definitely can. You know, you can blink and it be the end of the year. But at the same time, when it comes to learning someone, you really have to take your time.
But who's to blame?
I think it's both. You can't put it just on one person.
Listen, I do feel like a lot of females like to rush.
Yes, and a lot of that has to do with that whole biological clock thing.
Yes, and I feel like we get the blame because we like to
slow
relax.
Things down,
yes.
And I get that, and I can agree to that. I definitely can agree to that. It's hard for us as women to, when it comes to like the whole biological clock thing, it's very hard for us to be like, oh, well, we have time. Like as a man, you can still have children up until, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I don't know what the age is, but I feel like it's much higher than women. Yeah. Because women, our bodies change. Everything changes. I know several women who have said there are certain things on their body that have never gone back to the way that they were before. After they have kids, like certain things spread and shift and move, and they never shift back. I'm serious. Like this, women struggle with things like that. So when it comes to having children and doing all of those things, like there's women that don't want to have children. There's a group of women that don't, but then there's a bigger amount that do and that want those things for their lives and want a partner to do those things with. And they feel like, we don't have time, but realistically, our bodies don't have as much time. Yeah. Realistically, we don't. But it's hard to when you feel like a guy is BSing you and you feel like they just telling you that just to, because guys will do that. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to distinguish between who's a guy that's being genuine about that as opposed to somebody who's just trying to take advantage of you.
Okay, I can understand that.
Can you? Can you?
I mean, I feel like I can, but then I feel like I can't.
It's hard for us to see both sides.
Yeah.
That's the problem because we're stuck in how we feel. As women, it's like, no, this is what it is because it's the reality for a woman. And then as men, it's like, but this is my reality. So how do you get the two to meet? It's very hard. It's very hard. It's a lot of communication that has to happen. A lot of communication.
I mean, I think that's definitely the key word is communication.
Yeah, because she has to understand where he is and vice versa. And if y'all can't find a middle ground, then somebody's going to be pushing, like you're going to be upset. Like somebody's going to be mad and be like, I don't want to do this or why can't we do this? And the other person's going to be like, I don't understand why we can't just slow this down.
It's a tug of war. It's a pushing and pulling.
It really is. But again, communication is really key. But a lot of us struggle with that. I do. I do. I'm not even going to front because sometimes you feel something and you want to say it, but you don't know how to. Or you don't want to offend the person. You don't want to hurt their feelings. Yeah. But it's how you feel. You know what I mean? It's a hard balance to try to tell somebody how you really feel without hurting them or without them turning away from you. So that's why a lot of people just don't talk.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah. If I could say so myself. So do you think that's the issue with like this new age of dating is the fact that you have people that's rushing and nobody's really listening? Absolutely. And then there's also a lot of options. You know, with those dating apps and stuff like that. That opens it up for you to be able to meet so many other people. Yeah. And it's like, why would I stay with this one person? But are you really meeting the type of people you really want on those apps? Does it really matter? If you're not looking for if you're being superficial, if you're just looking to just whatever and just have a good time, like, so what? That works. Yeah. So what? You know what I mean? Like, so it's totally changed dating. And I think these apps and stuff that come out, I think the intention of the creators are so people can meet new people and connect and stuff, but I think we ended up taking it, you know, in so many different we take it wherever we want it to go. You know what I mean? So some people use it just to hook up with people. Do you use the apps? I tried it. Which one? I did Coffee Meets Bagel. That's a real app. Yeah. Like, what? Coffee Meets Bagel. There was that one, and then I tried Bumble, I think it was. Okay. And Coffee Meets Bagel, I met one guy on there, and that didn't work out. Okay. I think I forced that one. So it's your fault. Got you. No. First of all, don't say my fault, okay? But what I was trying to do was to prove to myself that I wasn't being shallow. Because I didn't like how he looked initially. And I was like, but his bio says this. Like, just give it a chance. He was an experiment. He was a project. That's messed up. He was. It was, though. Like, listen, so? What's his name? Anyway, mind your business. You know what? I don't feel bad because guys do it all the time. Okay, so I don't care. If this is you watching this, understand that you was an experiment. First of all, at least I can be vulnerable enough to say it on camera, okay? And not care. I understand. That's understandable. Not that I care, but you know what I mean. It was an experiment, whatever. Anyway. So how long did y'all talk for? Maybe like a month. Yeah, I would say a month. We talked and we never met up. We never went out. And that's when I kind of knew it just wasn't going to work either because it had been a week and he hadn't asked me out. So you did a whole month? But then, and so I continued for a whole month because I tried to stop talking to him. So I stopped talking to him and then he hit me back up again like, hey, I still like you. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know. Like, we didn't go out. We didn't do anything. And this was all within the month.
So then at the end of the month, it still didn't go anywhere. And I was just like, okay. And then we just stopped talking. And then one day he hit me up in my DMs and he said, I still think you're pretty. And I said, okay. And he was like, that's it. And I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to say to you. Like, it didn't go anywhere.
That's why he's on the app.
Poor thing. So it didn't work. And then I almost got catfished. So then I deleted them after that.
Hold up. Get back to the catfishing. Wait a minute. Which app you got catfish on?
I think it was Coffee Meets Bagel. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so how do you explain the catfishing?
So this guy messaged me and he was fine. I was like, ooh, wow, okay. So
not knowing it was the first guy.
Anyway. Y'all see this? So he messaged me and I messaged him back and then I showed the picture to my friend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, girl, look at this. She was like, hold up. He looks familiar. She was like, I think I follow his wife on Instagram. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm pretty sure he's married. So either that's him doing some BS, which I doubt, or somebody's catfishing you with his pictures. Damn. So she goes on the Instagram, she pulls it up, and the same picture that he sent to me was there on the Instagram. So then I go through and I took a picture of the man and his wife and I send it to the person who was messaging me. And I was like, what would your wife have to say about you being on this dating app? And then he deleted the profile and I never heard from him.
Damn. You was almost on MTV and shit. Remember that catfish show?
Never.
You was almost on there.
Never. I would never be on that.
That could have been you.
No, it would never have been me. It could never have been me. Don't come for me, Keston, okay?
Wow.
Let me take a break because you've been sipping. I have not been sipping at all. You just over here cutting me up.
Wow. Okay. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So away from the apps, right? Mm-hmm. So what's your let's go into some stories, right?
He's trying to dig up my stuff, y'all.
Nah, listen. You have your platform is about dating and relationships. Yes. What's your best date you ever been on?
The best date I've ever been on? Mm-hmm. Dang. You know what? I think it's been a while since I've actually been on an actual date. Mm. I've been in relationships a lot.
Okay.
So and the last serious one I had was over 5 years ago. And then I've had men do really, really nice things for me.
What's the nicest thing?
So, one guy, there's this restaurant it's a little hole in the wall kind of spot, but it's a trendy spot here in Brooklyn. It's I think it's Island. What is it? Island something. I can't remember the name of the spot.
Okay, so no promo for them.
Anyway, I forgot. You're right. So they have a salmon burger and sweet potato fries that I really, really like. And this guy that I dated, he made it for me, handmade it for me. And it was really, really good. It was really, really sweet. And it was something I wasn't expecting. Mm-hmm. He did that, and he made me chocolate covered strawberries. Made them for me.
Okay.
That was really
That's
sweet.
That's sweet shit.
It was really thoughtful because it was something that I really like to eat. So it was really nice.
Wonder who that was. Some sweet shit.
Anyway, yes, it was very sweet.
All right, so
I can't stand you.
All right, so what's your... Okay, so you don't remember your best. What's your worst date?
My worst date? Mm-hmm. Wow. This is bad because I can't think of anything. I've had pretty good experiences.
So it's okay. That's good stuff.
It is. I had one.
There gotta be something in there. Go ahead.
Let me see. He took me we went to the boardwalk, Coney Island boardwalk, some ghetto stuff, but it was cute. And then He tried to fill me up afterwards. I didn't really like that too much.
That wasn't good for you?
No.
Okay.
That was the first date. I mean, I didn't know him yet.
Okay.
Why are you making that face?
I mean, I thought, if he treat you, oh, let's go walk, hey, baby.
He should be filling me up on the first date.
Not playing. No, I'm joking. I'm messing around. I'm messing around. Don't go around like, look at this nigga be doing his first date out here just filling up chicks. That's not what I do, okay? Relax.
Listen, that's what it sounds like. You condoning the nonsense.
No, I'm messing around. I'm joking.
Okay.
Joking, guys.
All right.
Relax. All right. So he was filling you up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then he told me that I was wifey material, and he wanted to take me to Atlanta because he was thinking of moving there, and he wanted me to move there with him so I could be wife material. This was the first date, and then he ghosted me a month later.
Wow. Is that because you stopped him from filling you up?
You know what? I want to fight him. Stupid.
He said this cannot last.
Because I didn't let him fill me up?
I tried to touch a titty and she stopped me.
Oh my God. Yo. I'm done.
What is this we drinking again? Let's stop.
No more wine for you.
Okay.
You're a hot mess.
Nah, I'm a little crazy and I'm hot.
Yeah, it's a little toasty in here.
Okay, cool. So, all right, question. Are you a fan of situationships? No. So a situationship is never. Is there ever a time where it's appropriate to be in a situationship?
No. No. It gets too muddy. It gets too dark, or foggy is the word that I like to use, because I just feel like there's no clear lines of really what you are.
No clear direction or where you're going.
No, it's not, and there's a lot of women who may say that they're okay with that, and maybe in that stage that they are in their lives, they may be, but I just know a lot more who are not okay with that. You either have to be, together, y'all have a title, this is what boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever, or we'll just be friends. Bleeding those two into each other is just, women, we need security. We need to feel secure in our relationships, and that's not secure.
So how long you think somebody should get to know, how long you think people should get to know each other before committing to each other?
I think that depends on the couple itself, where you are. So let's say it's long distance. Let's say
that never works.
Not that it never works. It can work. Let's not say it doesn't work. But I think that you may allow more time because of the distance. You know what I'm saying? But if it's y'all both in Brooklyn, I think it requires, y'all spending time together, absolutely. But I think the two of you have to be on the same page with that. So that could be after a couple of weeks. That could be after a couple of months, maybe a year. I don't think it should be that long. If you're seeing each other consistently, and you know what I mean? I feel like after a couple of months, maybe 2-3 months, okay, let's have a conversation now about if
it's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that you need to necessarily put a title on it right then and there either, but I think you need to have a conversation about what it is the two of you want.
So what's the difference between situationship?
I think what happens in situationships is that there's no conversation, and then I think that too is.
So do you think it starts the same way of two people getting to know each other, and then but the conversation piece was missing?
I think the conversation piece was missing because I think at the beginning, right, when y'all first start dating, whatever, and it's fun, it's exciting. Let's get to know each other. And then you say, oh, well, we don't want nothing serious. We just want to get to know each other, see where this goes, blah, blah, blah. At some point, somebody's going to catch feelings.
Yeah.
At some point.
I don't be liking that.
And it may not be the both of you, but someone is going to catch some feelings at some point. You know what I mean? And then it changes everything. Because then the other person may be like, well, wait a minute. 2 months ago, you was cool with what happened.
See, but then it's still a conversation being had. Because I think to even have a situationship, you have to have a conversation.
You do, but sometimes it don't always happen that way. Or sometimes, even though you have the conversation, it still continues. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you have the conversation and one person is saying, I just like it the way that it is. I don't want to have a title. I just want to chill. While the other person is saying, well, no, I want more. It needs to be the end of that situation at that point. That's just how I feel. And from my personal experience, it has to stop, or else you'll be with that person for years.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I did it, and it was like 2.5 years, and it was just like, wow.
So you didn't know when to walk away?
No. And it was like...
Because I heard you said this before about people being able to walk away.
Yeah, because walking away is very hard when you're used to somebody, when you're, you know, like, and you do love them, you care for them, you don't want to hurt them and they don't want to hurt you, but it's like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know? But it's hard that's a hard reality, you know? Like, it's just something very difficult to accept that the relationship has stopped.
Yeah, it's definitely important to recognize if you're moving or if you're standing still.
Yeah, and it's hard though, because like you could, like I was engaged to somebody and I felt that way in the relationship.
Like it was going nowhere?
It was going nowhere, even though we were engaged.
Yeah. Like,
not even just the relationship, I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was in the middle of my own life, just standing there, while my whole life was just going around me. It was just like, it was on autopilot. I really wasn't doing anything. You know
was the relationship keeping you stagnant? Is that how you felt? Or was it just you not wanting to basically come to grips that maybe it's time for you to move on to keep your life moving?
I definitely think that was it more than anything. And I also felt like I was the one actually holding everything together in that relationship, because I did a lot for that relationship. I was... not just for him, but to his friends and his family. I was a lot to them as well. I had relationships with them. So when I left that relationship, I didn't just leave him. I left everything, which was his family and his friends. I had relationships with these people. Yeah. So, you know, for me, I felt like I had stopped my whole life and made his life my life. And that's not healthy.
You lost track of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why I felt so stuck. Because I'm just like, yo, like, I don't feel like I'm living my life. I feel like I'm doing everything for him. Yeah. And, you know, and I'm getting the short end of the stick. So now that I don't have anyone next to me and I'm just moving as a free Lady D, it's much easier. It's much lighter for me. And it's not to say that I don't want a relationship. I want marriage. I want children someday. Like, I want that for myself. But I think that this is the time for me to just breathe and to just walk in my purpose on my own. And then as I'm walking in it, I just believe that I will cross paths with the person that I'm supposed to be with. But
man,
that's deep, right?
Man.
Gotta take a sip on that one.
Yeah, man. Man. That's some deep shit.
I mean, I'm trying to tell people, like, I know what I be talking about on these videos.
Yeah, but... man, we gotta bring more females onto the show. Cause I ain't gonna lie, y'all dudes not talking like this. Y'all ain't talking like this.
But you know, there's a lot of us women, like, you know, we're more than just pretty faces. I mean, the pretty face is to get you to look, to be honest. You know, I've worked really, really hard to get my body, my mind, and my spirit in this amazing space that I'm in. And I didn't just lose weight physically, like I lost it spiritually and mentally. Like, I worked on myself from the bottom up. And I want to put that out there. Like, yo, there are women that are beautiful and they have a good head on their shoulders and they're doing amazing things and they're strong women. You don't have to be afraid of us.
That's what catch me sometimes. Because sometimes I be like, damn, look at that. And I be like, she's talking some shit.
I mean, but I get it though. I get it, because it's like, you know, when it comes to the industry and media and what's out there, you get these, you know, sculpted looking perfect kind of women, and but they're superficial. And they don't have any substance to them. But then you get regular women like myself who's just trying to, you know, do a thing and take care of what she needs to take care of, and she just happens to look good too. But now we get lumped into that other category of, she don't know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I do. I went to school for this. This is my career, you know, to help people. And it's like, I have to live it first. Yeah. If I'm going to give it to other people, I have to have it first, and I have to practice it first before I can tell somebody else how to change themselves. Like, girl, what you doing for yourself? You know, did you work on yourself? All that stuff that you preaching, did you use it on yourself first? Did it work? You know? So.
No, I definitely like what you got going on. And I definitely, like, I saw, like you mentioned, like weight loss and things of that nature. How did that transformation kind of like change you or get you going to a certain direction and, you know, change the direction that you're going, or your mindset, right, how you think about things?
Confidence booster. Like, honestly, when I started doing yoga, Pilates, and bar, and it's funny because it's not something that I know a lot of Black women do. Yeah. In the studio, it was apparent because it was a bunch of white girls, but they were killing it, and their bodies looked really good. They were all ballet dancers at some point. And so they, you know, have this studio, and it was probably like me and like 2 other Black girls that would come to this studio. But I was going religiously because I said I wanted to try something different. Yeah. I have arthritis in both of my knees. I'm like not even that old. I'm only in my 30s.
I'm about to say, how old are you again?
I'm only 34, and I have arthritis in both of my knees. So I can't do the high impact stuff that I used to do. I used to play volleyball in high school all the way up to college. And I can't do any of that stuff anymore. So I love to do like HIIT workouts, jumping on boxes. I used to be able to jump super high, and I can't do all those things anymore. So I had to be realistic about how I'm going to lose weight, because I can't lose weight in the way that I used to before. So I looked into this because I wanted to do dancing. I really wanted to do like pole dancing classes.
Oh, you want to be one of those? Dope. I just think swinging around, dope. Just out here just swinging.
Well, you know what? I think it's very sexy, and the women's bodies look really, really good, and they're naturally sculpted. So I just wanted it. I wanted to look like that. I didn't want a physique where it was like I lifted weights, because I can't lift weights like that anymore anyway. So I was like, well, I gotta abandon that. Now I gotta just use my own body weight. Yeah. So where I started working in Manhattan in Friday. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to look for some gyms down here, because there's a lot of juice shops. There's a lot of gyms down here. Let me see what I could find. And I found this studio. And I bought it on Groupon. I was going for maybe 5-6 months before COVID. And religiously, I was going like 3-4 times a week. And I was doing hot Pilates, yoga, all that stuff. And I slimmed down so much.
That's Pilates in the heat.
Like, seriously, like this room is hot.
Like clothes was coming off.
Yo,
it's
anyway.
Getting hot in here.
Anyway.
So take off all your clothes.
So, but it just really boosted my confidence at that point. Like, it made me feel like, yo, like this is the woman that's been underneath all that stuff this whole time? Wow. You should have came out a lot sooner, girl. Like, you popping. You are popping. And it's funny because my friends, like my one friend, she would tell me all the time, Diana, I don't understand. Like, you don't see this, you don't see that about yourself. You're this, you're that. Not just her. Many of my friends would tell me this. My grandmother told me this. Yeah. And my grandmother, I just thought my grandmother said those things to me because she's my grandma.
Yeah, she gotta say
that, yeah, right? Yeah. Like, but she was like, no, Diana, I'm telling you, like, you really have talent. Like, you have a passion to really be out there and helping people, and you've always been this fun, bright, loving type of person, and you like to make people laugh, all this stuff. Like, she was like, you should have been doing this a long time ago. Yeah. You know, when I first started putting out videos, one of my friends from college, she's like, I'm so proud of you. You're finally showing the world who you are. Like, you've always been this type of person. I'm so glad you're actually like putting it out there for people to see, because this is just who you are. And I was like, I can't believe all of this was here this whole time. I just never saw it. Yeah. I just never saw it. So now I'm seeing very clear. My vision is 2020.
That's dope. That's definitely dope. Like, seeing that your confidence came out. So, because I'm trying to lose this belly. So I'm losing this belly. This confidence is going to come out when this belly is gone. Right? I'm telling you, when the belly is gone, woo! Confidence Man, you ain't seen nothing.
Do your thing. Do your
Right?
thing.
Summertime? Not playing.
Yeah, best.
Yeah, the question, right? So, I don't know if it was a book or what it was. They had this 90-day rule. You know this 90-day rule that y'all females want to go by sometimes?
Okay.
Right? Do you believe in this 90-day rule?
I did a video about it.
You did?
Yeah.
What was your take on 90-day rule?
So I talked about it because of Steve Harvey. I read Steve Harvey's book.
You read it?
What is it? Think Like a Man or something like that?
Yeah, Steve Harvey's a motherfucker. Yeah, bro.
Well, I read it just because I wanted to just hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
And he brought up if you work at a job when you first get a new job and you gotta wait 90 days before you get off of probation. So that's how he referenced it when it came to making men wait for 90 days. You put the man on probation. Why are you shaking your head? I'm just telling you what it is.
I'm just making eye contact with my cameraman.
Yeah, okay.
So we both understand that it's some bullshit. Go ahead.
Anyway, so that's what he said. So a lot of women, there are women who feel, that they should make a man wait 90 days and this and that. Here's my thing with that. I think that if you're going to make someone wait 90 days, what's the purpose of that? And I'm not saying that you should just drop your drawers the first night, ladies. I'm not saying that. Fellas, don't even, okay? Because I'm not going there.
No. First of all, I would never say the first night. Probably like 2 nights after. But
oh my God. Y'all are crazy. It is not. That's a whole nother conversation.
90 days. Go ahead.
It's not that serious. Anyway, y'all are hot ass messes.
90 days. Go ahead.
90 days. So I think if you're going to implement the rule, that you should follow it to a T. Because I know people who have said, oh, I'm going to make him wait 90 days, but then they end up having oral sex, doing all these different things while they're in the 90 days. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought that the 90 days was to not have any kind of intimate sexual contact. Right? Okay. That's what I thought. I thought that it was supposed to be for, for you to just solely get to know the person, to, talk to them, get to know them, no sexual kind of contact. There, you may kiss at the end of the night or hug or something like that, but not to have any kind of like him touching your coochie, licking your, you know what I mean? Like doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But there are people who just, we gonna do 90 days, but we still gonna mess around. And it's like,
that's terrible.
That defeats the purpose.
That is
just
terrible.
have sex with them.
Yeah.
Right?
First of all, don't go out with me and go give it to somebody else. That don't make any sense to me. Because I'm right here. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
But I just feel like, it's not that I'm against it. I just feel like whatever rules, whatever boundaries you set in place for yourself, stick to them. Because if you fall off of them, so if you're in the 90 days with this girl, right? And she says, okay, I don't want to have sex with you for 90 days. And you go, okay, fine. You're a man. You're still going to try.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
You're still going to try. If she gives in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you in particular, but a man may lose a little bit of respect for her just because she decided to let go of that rule.
No, if she had that rule, then maybe. Because now I know you're not following.
But this is what I'm saying.
But if you don't have that rule, I respect the hell out of it. If that rule do not apply, I'd be like, woo.
But I'm just saying.
You just met me.
But if she has that rule and she doesn't follow it, you're gonna be like,
yeah, I can't trust anything you say.
But this is what I'm saying. So if you're gonna put the rule in place, there's nothing wrong with having them. You should have boundaries. You want somebody to treat you how you want them to treat you. Like, you're gonna teach them how to treat you.
Yeah.
So if I'm teaching you that, listen, I need to get to know you for you in 90 days. I don't want no touching, kissing, none of that stuff. Then that forces you to do that, right? If you want to date her.
Yeah.
It forces you to do that. But if she doesn't stick to it, you're like, what are we doing? Did you just put this here just because you feel like you should do it? Because sometimes we put things in place because we feel like we should, because people tell us, society tell us that we should, we make us feel like we should. Like people who want to lose weight, they say they want to lose weight and they don't do anything about it. And it's like, but I want to lose weight, but you're not doing anything about it. Are you saying this just because you feel like you should? Mm-hmm. Because you know you're overweight and you should lose weight? if you're not mentally there yet, then you're not there yet. Don't force yourself.
Yeah, don't say that they have a big burger on you. Eat that burger. You're not ready to. You're not.
Yes,
when that time comes and you're serious, then you can put the burger down. But until then, pick that burger up.
Exactly. Yes. Don't deprive yourself of a burger.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Stupid.
I ain't gonna lie, this has been crazy so far, man. Like definitely.
And it's been hot. Woo, Lord, you need some fans in here, ventilation, Lord.
Yeah, we can't go pick up all that sound.
I know.
Yeah, because it was sounding like your first video.
You see how? And he asked me to come on his show, and he coming for me.
I love it, man. I love it.
You know what? I have so much that I could say, y'all, but I'm not gonna do him like that because I'm on his show.
Yeah, don't do me like that.
In his house.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yo. So back to your show.
Yes,
man.
back to my show.
Back to your show.
Mm-hmm.
What's your direction that you see your show going?
I really would love to put it on. Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie. If y'all see what I'm doing right now, this is what a guy do when they're trying to get trying to get somebody drunk. They be like,
and then the cameraman is condoning it.
Yeah,
I'm done. Y'all are hot messes.
They're like, oh, you finished over there? Oh, you done now? You want to
so
put a little more up in there?
Y'all are hot messes. Anyway, I would like to be on TV someday. So right now, in order to get myself there, is doing things like this, increasing my social media presence. And my YouTube, I have videos up there, but I'm going to end up taking those down and just revamping my whole YouTube. Yeah. And I want to set it up like a TV show. That's my ultimate goal, because I feel like if I start to walk that way, somebody will pick it up and see it, and you just never know what could happen, So I want to gear it towards being a TV show. Like
what kind of, who you inspired by? Like what type of show you think you're gonna create?
So
I could see Wendy. How you doing?
No.
How you doing?
No.
How you doing? I was out here just.
No, actually, I grew up with Ricky Lake.
Oh man!
I grew up with Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake was before Jerry Springer.
Yo, first of all, let me tell you something. I remember being young. And like my mom used to we had one bedroom apartment, and at night after the news, Jenny Jones used to come on.
I didn't watch Jenny Jones.
My mom had that on all the damn.
Really?
I used to go to sleep into makeovers. Like, what's going on over here? I'm trying to sleep. Damn, it's 11 o'clock.
I grew up with shows like that. Was it Montel?
Yeah, Montel.
I grew up with Montel.
That nigga.
Who was the guy? Well, I didn't grow up with him necessarily. The guy with the white hair. I can't remember his name. I'm going back.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm going real far back.
Yeah.
But Ricky Lake, and then I like Lady O, Oprah. Okay. I like her. And her show for me was more, it included everybody. Yeah. Like family, everybody could watch, an Oprah show. So I'm kind of in the middle of those two, because I could see myself doing paternity tests.
In the case of
little
Antoine.
And when they take off running, you love a good paternity test show, or Maury. Don't fret, okay?
Yo.
So.
Listen.
Yo,
remember the shows it was Maury and Jerry. Yes. I felt like niggas used to stay home and watch those shows.
No,
they used to skip school.
Yes.
To watch this shit.
Yes.
To watch midgets fight. And to find out who was the baby daddy.
Yo, mad good. But I feel like, okay, so mine would be a little more sophisticated than that. Okay. If it's a paternity test, we would legit have therapy on the show. It wouldn't be, you know what I mean? Ayanna, love her.
Okay.
Love her. I'm not as dramatic as her.
Yeah.
But I love her still. But I could see myself doing something like that. Being a host on a relationship kind of show, 90 Day Fiance, or what's the other one? Oh, there's this one called Family or Fiance. It's on the OWN channel. I love that show. Yeah. But things I can see myself on TV doing things like that. That's what I really want to do. Okay. But I know that takes time.
I mean, you're working towards it right now, and that's what really matters.
And I feel like, 10 years from now, you're gonna see me. It's like, oh yeah, she was on my show, and I'll come back. I will promise you, I'll come back.
Cool. You hear it here.
I'll be back.
Because after I was like, remember Lady D? I hit her. Remember? She said I was gonna come back.
I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna have. It's gonna be ventilated. It's gonna be air.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be nice. You're gonna have a little studio set up. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
See, at least I'm speaking good things. I'm not trying to talk
I'm speaking. First of all, I see.
You was talking about my sound.
You
was talking about my
that's
sound.
That's in the past.
Oh, you know what? You see how men are.
First, it's all about elevation.
They just want to move on.
It's
like
all about,
it ain't happen.
It's all about elevation in life.
See, that's
so
the
I'm
problem.
talking about.
That's the problem. You see, ladies, this is it right here. They just trying to move on.
I'm just letting them see where you came from, where you going.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad sound to great sound.
And he's sitting up here drinking my wine. Go ahead, sip it. Anyway.
Well, this is great, man. Listen, I'm going to take a little break real quick and we back to talk to Lady D.
Tend to ghost to end things. I was dating this guy who slid in my DMs, and I was like, all right, fuck it, why not give it a try? After the date, I went to a party and saw him at the party. He was shady. He was a little shady, and it doesn't make it easier when there's apps like Tinder, making it like sex super accessible.
Doing this for the last 2 episodes. Got a little versus thing going on. All right. So you know how to. Well, you don't know how this works. I'm gonna tell you how this works. All right. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna give you 2 choices. It's gonna be versus. This versus that. You got to answer whatever it is. Answer the question. No thinking about. Well, just think about it, but no long thought process and everything. All right. And at the end of the day, we find out who wins. Well, I win, but whatever. Let's go.
All right.
Okay. Ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna start. I gotta put the music.
This guy.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Now, okay.
Do y'all see this?
All right, here we go. Ready? Let's go.
Bruh. And is this supposed to be telepathically? I'm supposed to figure this out?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Breakup to makeup versus breakup.
Breakup.
Okay. 1 Minute Man versus Weekend Lover.
Weekend Lover.
Okay. Going with the flow versus dating with a purpose.
Dating with a purpose.
90 days versus when the time is right.
When the time is right.
Flowers versus chocolate covered candy.
Chocolate covered candy.
Smelly feet versus smelly breath.
Ooh. Feet.
Negative bank account versus a 500 credit score.
Ooh. Oh, wait, what is it? Wait, what?
Negative bank account versus a 500 credit score.
Damn. I guess I'm going to be carrying that relationship regardless. Let's say 500.
Okay. Team natural versus team relaxer.
Natural.
Fro versus weave.
Damn, it depends on the circumstance. Weave.
Weave versus wigs.
Wigs.
Team versus Trey Songz versus Chris Brown.
That's not fair because they're different places. One dances. Trey Songz.
And that's the end of the game.
Dang it, I can't even explain it. Oh man.
Once again, thank you for coming out to the show, keeping it frank.
This was dope.
Thank you very much.
I
now,
really
let the people know where they can find you, who you are. Explain to people. Go ahead.
All right. So, again, I am Lady D's Chat. See to the Mug Hair Lady D's chat. That's the logo. I am on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Like I said, I'm taking my YouTube down to revamp it, but I am on those 3 platforms at Lady D's chat. Spell it just like this, and you will find your girl.
All right. Once again, thanks again for coming out to Keeping It Frank. Thanks for viewing and listening to Keeping It Frank on podcast. And once again, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and now we are solely streaming this on the Third Eye Media Network on YouTube. So go on Third Eye Media Network, subscribe to the page.
Yes.
You know what it is.
Yes.
Keeping It Frank. We out this month, you know?
Hi, guys.
And I'm going to keep sipping this bottle, and don't be the kind of person that like, oh, I'm taking my bottle home with me. This is going down.
First of all, if I want to take that bottle, mister, I'm going to take it.
Once again, you can try to find this, whatever this is.
Don't give it no promo. I don't even know if I like that yet.
Keeping It Frank. We out.